Hello and heartily welcome in our newest episode of Ask the Founder. Hello, dear Simon. We have
Great.
a new question today. Last time we talked about Asia and that they are further ahead in the technical field. And till the end, we said that we have found new partners over there. And this follows in the newest question for now. If we have partners, then they have normally big networks. And these networks, why are they so important for a rapid scaling of the future multiverse? And which areas are our advisors of the board particularly well?
Mm.
Perhaps you can tell us something about that. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much for the question. So, in regards to rapid scaling, we're talking about our technology now in a way. We have solved problems that are usable in a universal way and by governments on a large scale. At the same time as for individual use cases and needs. And as we have the, let's say, capacity, we've built the capacity to make our system usable by entire governments. We also, let's say, attracted or let's say came in touch at the exact right timing in the right way with, let's say, the right partners who have access to all levels of society and economy. And that means we have now partners that have introduced our technology to several different even presidents of countries that have been, let's say, receiving this in a very positive and open way, said, wow, this is the future. And of course, as they want to be leaders of, let's say, lead by example, not only for create new solutions and more value for their society, for their economy, for their economics growth, then of course, they're now not only considering this, but with several ones we already started. So why is the right partners important? And how does having the right partners accelerate the growth and scaling of such a solution that we have now, is particularly in our platform, a tremendous way is because having the right partners, they can advise you and they can connect or they introduce the system to the right clients or the right partners to work with, the right strategic partners, potentially investors that are interested in getting involved, or also technical partners who can support the growth and scaling. And also they bring in the right partners, bring in the right experience also to, let's say, give you the right advice and the actual good advice, because not every advice is good or let's say actual valuable. So we also learned our lessons that it's very important who you take advice from, that it's very important to
Different partners with different networks,
correct,
and they
correct,
can connect you to the right ones in every
correct,
situation. So that's very important.
correct,
And that's
correct,
very, very good that you found new partners in Asia,
correct,
because Asia is a
correct.
very big market. You just told me before that we have a very big partner, and perhaps you can tell us some of his connections. So
Yes,
why
yes,
is it very
yes.
important to have these connections?
Thank you for the question. So I'll give a few very practical examples now. So first of all, our whole community already knows, but also for everyone listening, we have a very strong and deep partnership with Dr. Farzam Kamalabadi and with the Future Trends Group. Now, the amazing thing is we came here to Asia. We were introduced to very large connections of Dr. Farzam that he has built over the last 40 years. He was in China when Shanghai was still, or let's say all the cities of China were still very little. And it's amazing to see really in detail now, the history and the development of China. It's completely different. Like what we hear in Europe or in the Western world about China, many things about it that we hear is often, negative things, and, China is a threat, etc. So there's many, interestingly, very one-sided out of my perspective. But being here and seeing basically how China has developed and how different other Asian countries have developed over this time is very impressive. It's amazing. And also it's always important to look at the bigger perspective on not just one-sided on things, but in the whole picture. But Dr. Farzam was here. He lived here for I think 33 years roughly, has built tremendous, very deep connections to many different governments in China, but in whole Asia, and also to many of, let's say, the largest companies and entrepreneurs and personalities. So he knew directly who to, because we are starting our public launch now. We are, let's say, starting into a very important phase of our project. He knew exactly who to connect us with first, and in let's say what order, and to create the right partnerships, the right corporations, and to initiate or let's say accelerate that public launch process in the right way. So Dr. Farzam has not only very broad and deep and intense network in China or it's in whole Asia, but also in Africa, also in the US, in the UAE, in Europe, basically anywhere. But and I'll give a few more examples in just a moment. But here specifically now in Asia, we were connected with gentlemen where we will also give more further details very soon. This gentleman, for example, is definitely one of the biggest entrepreneurs in the industry that he's in, including blockchain, but not only blockchain. He's very, very established in the technical space, but also very well connected to governments and to very large entrepreneurs as well, big companies. And he's a very big magnet. So which is also very important. We have very strong partners that others are coming to for advice, for actually approaching them for corporations. They're very valuable in the industries that they're in. So we have created a real, let's say, magnet for the entire market there. And he knew directly when he saw our platform how what the difference is in comparison to all the other players in the market because of his experience that he has in this industry, and was blown away when we showed him how we are putting this platform to use, not just for creating financial transactions, but actually creating really technological breakthroughs that we are able to introduce the next level of how the entire economy is going to work. And again, China and Asia is a lot further in regards to using technology, not just knowing about it, but using it on a daily basis and seeing the differences, having a feeling for it, and seeing and knowing when something is extraordinary. We introduced this solution now here, who he introduced us to, including after the first meeting of 20 minutes when we met, basically the whole cooperation we're going to do was completely clear on the full scale, so that we're scaling this entire solution into the entire Asia market, but also are going to introduce it directly to the government here to now digitize an entire country. This was clear after 20
I
minutes.
think you just mentioned the word magnet, and I think this is a very important thing if you have
Yeah,
new partners, if you have networks, if they understand what the worth of the future multiverse is, then
correct,
and they are magnets, the people come to them. We do not have to
correct,
go to everyone itself. We
correct,
can go to this partner and they show it to their network. And this is a
correct,
multiplicator. This is a
correct,
scaling that we cannot reach
correct,
by going on the street and talk to person
correct,
one, person two, person three.
correct,
So we are going from the top to the bottom,
right,
and this is something very, very important. And yeah,
correct.
thanks for you to telling us something about the scaling and networks, why they are important for the future multiverse.
Big
And
time.
thanks for your words. Thanks for
Thank
the
you.
community to watch these episode of Ask the Founder. Stay
Thank you so
tuned
much.
and watch us the next time.